We had found out that we were going to have twins, and then we had to have what's called twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome surgery down in Houston. And 2 days after we got back from that, my wife didn't feel right. So we went to the hospital and we found out that we had lost our son Colt. And shortly after that, JJ decided he wanted to be born. So they did everything they could to stop it, but he was born 3 months premature. He was born at 1 pound, 13 ounces, and he had all kinds of tubes to help him breathe and eat.
Going there and seeing your child hooked up to monitors and, each day not knowing which way it was going to go for the first month, it was hard. But as a parent, you do what you have to do and you sacrifice to make sure that your children are taken care of. He spent 5 months in the NICU and missed the first 3 holidays.
It was hard losing one kid and praying and fighting for the other kid to make it.
Being in the hospital, we had been planning to get married for months, and just with the babies and the twins and losing one and JJ being in the NICU, things got put on the back burner. Finally, Justin's dad said, "What are you waiting for? There's no need to wait." And I could not get married with not having both my kids there. And so luckily the hospital was wonderful enough to take us in and let us get married in the room. We made Carissa a flower girl, and it was super special because JJ, and in memory of his twin, Colt, they had made a Build-A-Bear that was in memory of Colt. So Colt Bear and JJ were the ring bearers. That was the topper on the cake to complete having all of us there. I look back at from where we've been to where we are now and think of how far we've come since then. It does my heart so good.
It is completely different from last year because we had to spend Christmas at Cook's Children's. We had to take the presents up there. Everything was based off of the hospital. And now we get to finally have JJ home for Christmas, and so he actually gets a real Christmas tree instead of just the Charlie Brown Christmas tree we had at the hospital.
We kept having hope that he would come home, and then we'd get a little bit of a setback, and the doctors did think that he might have to come home on breathing equipment or a feeding tube, or have to have a G-butt. And boy, he definitely proved them wrong, because he thrived being home. He eats like a champ. He has no problem with eating or taking that milk. And for so long, seeing him lay in a bed and hooked up to monitors, and seeing his little body just not being able to do much, and then him come home and sit, learn to crawl, feed himself, say dada, him laughing, and it's been the most wonderful thing being home and getting to experience those things and see him, and he's incredible. He is a champ. His lungs we've had a setback a couple of times, and we still have doctors. We still have frequent visits to Cook's, but he's definitely come so far from where they thought that he would be when coming home.
One of the happiest things that JJ's done is all he says is dada. And dada, and I had him saying dada as my ringtone for a while. JJ loves his sister. Carissa can make JJ laugh over anything.
Carissa loves JJ more than I could have ever imagined. And she has been so strong
JJ means just most to me. I'm so happy I have him. I'm so grateful. I wouldn't like anything else. Not any present, not nothing. I'm so happy I have him.
I wish both my babies were here. But every holiday we try to go and visit his grave and, make it special. We took JJ to Colt's grave and we celebrated their birthday together. And, it's so hard, and I know God has a plan for everything and we may not understand it. And I know that he was sick and, we miss him. It's the hardest thing to a parent ever to go through is lose a child, and especially as being a mom, and you carry them and you feel them, and then you have your babies one minute and the next you don't have either one. You have one you're having to plan a funeral for and another that's in the hospital, and it's still today, I still relive those memories as if it was just yesterday, and it is hard. It gets easier, it does, but that pain will never go away. I'm blessed to be able to look at JJ, and because they were going to be identical, to be able to know what he would have looked like. And we've got a beautiful little boy, and I know that Colt is a beautiful angel in heaven. And even though he may not physically be here, we're always celebrating with him in our hearts.
This is a picture I made for my wife. Basically, what this means is Colt will always be with JJ. And it says, not all twins walk side by side. Sometimes one has wings to fly. He is full of energy. He never stops. He can't sit still. He loves Mickey Mouse. He is obsessed with Mickey Mouse. He crawls around the entire living room. He jumps in his jumper all the time. He's just always active. It's such a blessing to be able to come home and know my wife, my daughter, my son are going to be here. I know that my son's growing and I don't have to worry about having to drive an hour to the hospital just to see my son. And I know I can hold him and play with him and we can watch Mickey Mouse together.
For so long, seeing him lay in a bed and hooked up to monitors and seeing his little body just not being able to do much, and then him come home and sit, learn to crawl, him laughing. I love both my children both, so much. But with JJ, it's been, extra special because of all that his little body has been through.
JJ is definitely our miracle baby.
We are a strong family, and we will always make it because of that.